happened to Boston after the half?
Well, the rest of that quote is what happened, because what he said at that point, what Mazzulla said, was alarming. We were prepared, then we let go of the rope. Then we let go. It's the Western Conference Finals, Game 1. The day before, Al Horford had to stop practice and tell his players, we're not practicing hard enough. We're not ready to play. This is way too loose. If you've got to say that to a team that last year was in the NBA Finals, we can't make this about coaching. This team has enough experience to understand the moment, and they clearly didn't understand the moment.
Monica? I'm inclined to agree. Listen, the nature of Joe Mazzulla's pressers at this point are almost combative, right? Which is to be expected, and I don't think he's going to say that we were unprepared in the sense that I didn't do my work. To your point, letting go of the rope, and what we then saw to finish out the fourth quarter as far as your star not touching the basketball until he had consecutive turnovers, like that is player to me. And I understand the nuances of coaches and how Eric Spoelstra on the other side, it should be celebrated for all that he's been able to get out of this Heat squad. But at the same time, if you're the Celtics, you gotta walk in the experience and in the identity, quite frankly, the way that the Heat did.
So you're talking about players. I want to show you guys something, because Jayson Tatum scored 30 points in this game, but did not attempt a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Well,
he had 3 turnovers. He had just 13 touches in the fourth, 34 dribbles, both marked the second fewest of any in the fourth quarter this season. How does this happen, Monica?
I'm not sure, and particularly as one who is cut from the Kobe cloth, right? That is so far away from the Mamba mentality, I think it's a disgrace to have it mentioned in the same sentence. This to me was highly disappointing, and it seems to be, I don't want to say thematic because I don't think it's contagious in that way, but we've had this conversation more times than not about guys that are supposed to be the stars shrinking away from the moment. I will say that the Celtics have Jaylen Brown, who's terrific. Al Horford has knocked down big shots. There is this let it flow, maybe not force it because we trust one another thing that happens. But to me, if you're Jayson Tatum, what we've seen in these playoffs, closeout performances,
50,
monster games, 51 piece, right?
51.
That is just flat out unacceptable. I don't get it. I am highly baffled.
Miami is why. Remember, he tried to shoot. He turned the ball over.
But before that,
a couple of times, it was an abomination, a couple of these turnovers. The one where he literally just jumps off the ground and has nowhere to go. Jimmy Butler guarded him a ton in this game, an absolute ton, and he did not shoot the ball. 2 of 6 when Jimmy Butler was his final defender. But as you saw on those highlights, look at the defense. Just watch the effort here. Here's Strus not letting him go by, just closing out, forcing a bad pass, and Jimmy waiting for the turnover. Look at this here, the switch again. Then you see right there, Caleb Martin ready for the charge, just getting in his way. It's just terrific defense. This is what Miami does to you. Then a hard closeout where he jumps and realizes I can't get this shot off. Sometimes the other team was really prepared to take you out of the game, and your next option has to be your best option. And you have to credit what Miami did here in that point.
Yes.
But what you criticize is the Celtics for putting themselves in this position because of how big of a lead they had at home in the third quarter, early in the third quarter.
Okay, I'll give you that. 2 things. Yes, give Miami a ton of credit. This is a team that hangs their hat on defense. They do a great job. However, you're Jayson Tatum. You have seen defenses be geared up to you all season long.
Yes.
So I just think, to me, the overall stock selection, I'm not taking anything away from Max Strus, Jimmy Butler, load up. You and I just witnessed this Miami Heat defense very closely.
That's why I recognize it.
We can see it. But I think if you're Jayson Tatum, you know that's coming. You have to be a better decision maker. Now, we get into the nuances in terms of how some of these turnovers came to be. What were y'all running? Are you completely leaning on ISO while the Heat are loading up 2 and 3 bodies towards Tatum?
Are.
Well, that becomes a little bit of a problem. But to me, again, as a collective, you guys have experience. So nobody saw that was what was happening?
Right, and you're talking now adjustments.
But I will say this, the one guy we're not questioning, Jimmy Butler.
Of course not.
35 points last night, and as you talked about, generally goes against the best player on the other team, plays defense as well. Yep. Is he the best player right now in the playoffs? It
is very interesting, isn't it? Have this conversation. Now, let's just be playoff Jimmy we're talking about here. We're not talking about all season long Jimmy Butler. We're talking about playoff Jimmy. And when you look at the final 4 teams and you consider all the star players that are still left, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, where would you rank? Where would you take playoff Jimmy among those players right now? If you had to win a Game 7 or if you had to win a playoff game, I mean, is he second behind Jokic because of what he delivers in the postseason, Mom?
I I know that the overall stats in the playoffs might suggest that he's second, but I would wonder what it looks like in clutch time legit.
Yes,
And so
Jimmy Butler.
when I think of clutch
I
time,
want this
I'm
guy.
going Jimmy Butler.
I want
You're
this
putting
guy.
him over Jokic.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler.
The guy's averaging a triple-double, but we're going
crazy,
Jimmy, right?
Yeah. But he's just proven in the moments that matter most. You just heard the sound we just ran.
Yeah.
They are not supposed to be here, in theory, right? Like, and I tweeted this last night, and again, personal experience with this Miami Heat squad.
Yep.
I have long let go of 8th seed, play-in squad, injured, undrafted players. We have to have more of a conversation about the collective experience, not just Coach Spo, but these are guys that were here fighting for a spot for the finals last year. Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, they got more quality experience than some guys with some other NBA rosters, point blank period.
How about we shoot the J then, since we got Jay Williams?
Shoot it. Come on, Jay,
Let's
let
shoot
it
that
fly.
J.
Shoot it.
Okay.
Not on your team, man.
First question for you. Should Joel Embiid one out of Philly?
No, I think he should take one more shot at this. But the whole thought or premise that Daryl Morey is not consulting with Joel Embiid, you can lose me with that. In today's modern NBA, you always consult the best player on the team. If Joel Embiid knows what's going on, either he's letting it happen or he's behind the scenes with Daryl Morey making it happen.
Okay. Will fatigue play a factor for AD and LeBron tonight?
It better not. There's no excuses here.
Both played over 40 minutes and then get
Yeah, it's fine. So did Nikola Jokic. Like, this is why you're here. You're going to play over 40 minutes. It's the Western Conference semifinals. Like Kobe said for the Lakers, let's put our big boy pants on and not use excuses about, I can't play 40 minutes to win a damn game on the road against a team that's proven to be the best team in the Western Conference for most of the year.
So is tonight then a must-win? JJ Redick told me to ask you this
He hates
question.
that. Where's the ball?
Is
So I
this
can
a
strip
must
from him
win?
again.
Yes, exactly. Is this a must-win for the Lakers tonight?
I'll say it's a must-win for this reason, right? Now, look, you could say, hey, Phoenix, they were down, they won 2-0, they went back, Phoenix won 2 in a row. Like, the cumulative effect of what it takes on your body to do that in the next round is something that gets factored in. And I will say it's a must-win because I want my team with LeBron James and AD to start this game with a sense of urgency that I did not see them start the last game with in game one. They came out, they got down by 20, they were fighting to get back in the game. So I want them to think must win because the way we start this game will dictate how we play the rest of this game. And if we can get a win on the road, I think that sets a different precedent with the Denver Nuggets.
Eminem, what do you think?
I don't think it's a must-win. I think it will be an uphill battle if they don't win the ball game, but I just think while, and no disrespect to the Nuggets, because they have been one of the most consistent teams in this playoffs, but we have seen at different points, for whatever reason, teams not show up and be their best selves, and that allows series to get evened out. I mean, in theory, you would have almost expected them to have a gentleman's sweep with the Suns, and that's not what happened. So I don't think it's a must-win. I understand the urgency. They definitely want to go back to LA 1-1, though.
But by the way,
You're saying it's McNutt's.
No, and I won't say it's McNutt, because I think you need that mindset.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not ready to call a series even if this thing goes 0-2.
I'm saying this, like, do the Lakers have somebody that can give you a prolific offensive explosion like the way Devin Booker did in those 2 games like they got in Phoenix, averaging 41 points on 80% shooting. So that's what needed to occur in order for Phoenix to win those 2 games, by the way.
So are we saying it needs to be a LeBron James game then tonight?
No, it's too early in the series. I actually think, call me crazy, I think the pressure is more on Denver. Because if you're Denver and you get the 2-0 lead, like there's more pressure on them to say that we got to take control of the series, we're home. Take control of the series before you go on the road, because the split is what obviously is the old cliche. It's what the road team's looking to get. So if you give them the split, game 3 now suddenly becomes a game in the balance for the series that you don't want to give the Lakers momentum and any kind of just feeling like they can win this series. So this has to be pedal to the metal, go up 2-0, and then go on the road, because it's going to be different now. It's not Staples, crypto, whatever. It's going to be different in that building. Like, stars are going to be like, it's just different vibe in that building. Western Conference Finals for the first time in a long time. That's going to be a different experience for a team that really hasn't had a lot of playoff experience this deep in the playoffs. If I'm Denver, I'm feeling the pressure to win this game more than I am the Lakers.
So we talked a lot about those adjustments that the Lakers made, especially late in that fourth quarter, and they found something. Will those adjustments, you think, slow down Jokic and Denver here in game 2?
Well, I think you have to. I was really frustrated by the fact that just AD was their primary defender for 3.5 quarters until the fourth, right? Until you have Rui.
Yeah.
Like, I thought AD is way better off the ball and using bodies like Rui, using bodies like LeBron James, giving him multiple different looks, right, in order to make Jokic think. He is so good when he's reactive. So I think you will see different things. I also think who guards Jamal Murray tonight will be important. I think you're probably going to see Vanderbilt on Jamal Murray because they do so much DHO, dribble handoff action, that having a taller guy, 6'7", 6'8", that can block shots, trailing plays is going to be critical. So critical.
How about
what critical means?
It's a new word.
Yeah.
You're
critical.
Two guys, you can rewrite your prediction.
Same thing. Say it with conviction.
How about, the thought of Jokic is going to get his 30, 10, 10. It's don't let anybody else beat you. Don't let Jamal Murray get 31. Is it a matter of don't let Jokic become such a playmaker that everybody else gets hot, right? Like we saw in the first half where his passing was off the charts. So he's going to score, fine, but don't let anybody else get going. Is that the mentality maybe?
Maybe so. I mean, I think Michael Malone is going to have to counter that, though, because I don't think you'll see if Aaron Gordon isn't making shots, which allows AD to play off Aaron Gordon. That's where they were hot. I think you'll see more of Jeff Green who can make those shots from the corner. But I'm trying to pick up the pace of this game. I think Denver is better when they're in transition. And by the way, everybody talks about how the Lakers are great defensively. They're actually that's in the half court. They're one of the worst teams in NBA in transition defense. That's what you saw happen in the first half.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.